Live. Hi, anybody who comes on live or if you watch it later. Um, this is the only time I've gotten a chance to do this, so I'm just out of shower, pajamas on. You can also ignore the sovereign state that has decided to invade my face. But yeah, hi, I wanted to do a live again. Sorry for the setup as well because I don't have my desk and stuff set up. Yeah, I just wanted to do. I said I was thinking of doing a live basically for the Barbara Walsh video. So I covered Barbara Walsh's case in September 2020 in like the depths of COVID and stuff. Um, there wasn't a lot on it. Unfortunately, there still isn't a lot on it, but for some reason, YouTube is really pushing that video. Excuse me. So it has like 30,000 views now, and there's a lot of people commenting and stuff like that. So I went through. I was replying to comments and stuff like that, and then I just decided I would do a video for everybody to watch. Um, if they want. And I also tried to find more information. So there was a TG Cahir, which is the Irish station here, for anybody who doesn't know. They covered Barbara's case as part of like three families in a story. And it is in Irish, but I will leave the link in the description here and you can watch it. So there's a few bits there. So I'm really just going to go through stuff like that for you guys. And then if the questions I have, I'm going to answer. And then if anybody is on, hello, balloon, zoom, bloom. I like that. Um, if if you have any questions about this case or any other case, you can let me know. But yeah, so I'm really just going to go through and say a couple of the notes first. I'm just going to do from the TG Cahir thing. So it's called Sale. Hello, advanced watcher. It's called Sale Clanna is the name of the show. And basically there they say this is Jacqui they're speaking to, so Barbara's daughter, and actually her daughter as well. So Barbara's granddaughter, Aideen, Aideen Walsh. So she actually kind of has become quite involved with it as well now. So for those joining and for anybody else who joins later, yeah, sorry for the setup. It's just literally last minute, kind of just doing this while I have a bit of time. So ignore the setup and ignore me, except for the true crime bit. So Jacqui says her mum was 35 in this episode, but all the other sources say she's 33 and her date of birth is said to be July 1951, so it would make her just under 34 when she went missing. She says about how there was 5 or 6 people back at the house. Again, we don't really know who. We do know that Catherine went back and Catherine's partner, you would assume the brother went back, so then you're not really sure. Did the 2 guards go back? Did the priest go back? What neighbours and friends went back? No, she mentions again then about the no passport, no money, and no savings, even though MacDara will tell the Gardaí that she had £600 savings. Now, it had been reported, it had always been said that they were sent away quite quickly, and the whole idea was like, well, MacDara couldn't deal, so they were kind of sent off to Amps to be looked after. However, she basically says, Jacqui says that he became the mum and the dad, and looked after them. But it said they were sent away. So maybe it really was just that they were sent away for a couple of weeks till he kind of, got his head around what he was going to do and put plans in place. Because obviously, if he had been working, now he would need someone to mind the children, or else he'd need to get different type of work that could help or accommodate that. Not really sure. The whole problem here is, even though Jacqui is Barbara's daughter, it's still essentially second-hand information because she was only 14. So some of it she obviously knew, some of it she sort of heard, and some of it she's probably guessing. Oh, she said a really kind of sad phrase, I thought, and it was basically like, it's like she was never there, except she was. So that even though this person's just simply vanished out of what seems like vanished out of the kids' lives, they all still have these lasting memories and a lasting impression of her. Hi, Jill. Um, so yeah, for anybody just joining now, I'm just basically giving an update on the Barbara Walsh video because there's been a bit of a blow up and people were asking about any updates and then people had questions and theories and stuff. So I just decided to do this and then I can put it up as a video then for people as well. So in 2015, I would have told you that in the video that the house had been searched, the land around the house. Now, Jacqui says that she also asked the guards to search a specific area that didn't belong to them, because apparently the guards then said to her, no, we would have to get permission for that. And they obviously just never asked or else never got the permission. But then in 2021, I remember I put up a comment on the video saying that lakes around the area were being searched and nothing was found. But Jacqui says in that TG Caher episode that she believes that they're not finished searching the lakes, so maybe something could be found. In 2021 as well, then there was another appeal done and there was a press conference and stuff like that. And actually, like that, it was Jacqui's daughter Aideen who spoke at that press conference about her grandmother and the appeal. So there's a Crime Stoppers appeal and a Crime Stoppers award. Again, I'll put all the information up. I don't know how to do that now. So I can put links for that in the bit below. And that's kind of it for the Sale Clonnet episode. The only other thing that I saw was that the detective apparently said they wouldn't upgrade it to murder. Which is weird because he was basically saying like they'd have to have remains or something to believe. Actually, do you know what? Sorry, I do. I have it here. I'm going to read it from somewhere else if that's okay. So, Detective Donaghue said that Barbara's disappearance is being treated as a missing persons case at this point. And then so, quote, we need more information or we need to find her remains before we can upgrade this missing person case to murder. We haven't completely ruled out that she may still be alive, but we have liaised with Interpol and we don't believe she left the country. She did not have a passport. There is no evidence that she is still residing in this country. We have taken DNA samples from all of the family and that is on the missing persons database. Her children don't believe it is possible that their mother walked out on the 7 of them. So they're even saying there that they don't think that she's still in the country. They don't think she left the country. So what else can the possibility be? And we've seen cases being upgraded to murder. Deirdre Jacobs' case only recently was upgraded officially to a murder investigation without a body. So it can happen. And then I was looking at things like forums like Reddit and stuff like that. And someone said an interesting thing about the shoes, so the theory had been then Catherine had obviously left the next day or whatever and taken her shoes, or could Barbara have put the shoes on to, run away? But someone said if someone had killed Barbara and was getting rid of her, if they thought they were her shoes, they would have taken them to make it look like she had left, And I thought that was interesting. However, I watched my video again, which was a lovely little reminder of where I started. And I actually thought when I was reading it and it said about, Catherine came back. So how do we know that Catherine came back and left her shoes there and then took them the next morning? Because everyone in the house was to be asleep at that point, including Barbara, or else Barbara was gone. So the whole thing was, did Catherine see her mum and stuff like that? But how do we know that Catherine had taken her shoes and then left? Catherine is very mysterious in this whole thing as well. Like she basically just leaves and heads back to America and doesn't speak about like Barbara going missing, doesn't say if she had seen her that night. And I suppose the only person who probably at that time could have pushed for that would have been McDara. And McDara, as we know, doesn't seem to have been that eager to talk about Barbara or the disappearance. And then I think by the time Jacqui kind of got involved, Catherine had passed away. But it's I don't know, the whole shoe thing, maybe that's supposed to be like a red herring or something. um, oh, um, so the whole thing with her finding her mum on the couch, and Jacqui says that her mum was asleep and she put a blanket and stuff. I do say in the video that I believe, and I would still believe that if that Barbara had been dead at that point, and I think that something could have woke Jacqui, a noise, a bang, a scream, something, and that's why she woke, and that's why she went down. And like, was it a case of whoever was responsible placed her there, or the incident happened at the couch and she fell there or something? But if it had been so soon, like Jacqui wouldn't have known, especially at 14, as I said, and a young 14, she wouldn't have known. When Barry Cummins asks her, was she breathing? She never says she was breathing. She says, yeah, well, she was warm. Like, a body wouldn't become cold that quick. Sorry, and I know this is kind of a morbid conversation. Hello, Mojo. Some of the names are great. Um, but I just think, yeah, like someone's body wouldn't be cold that quick. And in the innocent mind of a child, you would just think, oh, mom didn't wake up. She's not waking. Okay, well, I'll just make sure she's comfortable and then I go back to bed. But she basically says, so Aideen, Jackie's daughter, says that those moments haunt her mom, that she should have insisted on waking her and making her go back up to bed, or that she should have stayed with her, she should have slept on the couch with her then, because then nothing would have happened to her. That's kind of, the way she thinks of it. And again, I suppose that depends on how you look at it. Obviously, if you think it was that she got up and ran away, she could have still probably done that. If you think someone then came in and done harm to her, okay, maybe then they wouldn't have done it. But if, like what I think, and I've seen a lot of you comment and say that you believe that she was already dead by the point that Jackie seen her on the couch. And I've seen on Reddit and other things as well where people think that's what happened. So I don't think it would have helped anyway. It's really weird. Sorry, this is only my second live, because I keep thinking that I can pause pause for a minute because I can edit it out later, and I pause and I'm like, oh no, we're live. We need to keep going. We need to keep talking. Um. So AI in Ireland, they do like on YouTube. The Department of Justice will do like clips of the different family members, talking obviously about their missing loved one, and they talk about Barbara. Obviously she's again talking to her through her experience of her mom, and obviously she knew her granddad, McDara, and she says like how he would have said how great Barbara was and how great she was as a mother, and like that in turn then she would have been a good grandmother type of thing. So I don't know, he seems to have been involved then later. So maybe it was just a case of he sent the kids off while he figured out what he was gonna do, you know? So in terms of the sale Clonard, that's that. And then I just have a few notes that I made from my video while I was watching it, because again, as I said, it was 4 years ago. So this is kind of from the comments. Yeah, kind of from the comments and from you guys. So one big thing that people were saying was the priest and the two Gardaí being there. I don't necessarily think it was weird that they were at the party. Um, Purely like, if it was this small little town, like I think I said, like in one of the recent censuses, there was like 170 people living there or something. If you were obviously very friendly with your priest, and like think about it, that priest probably knew the brother and sister who were home, and it was probably, like nice to go see them and see them off. Again, the Gardaí, it's probably not like me going into my Garda station and then being like inviting someone to a party. They most likely grew up in the area, so they probably knew Barbara and McDara and the brother and sister who would be going away. But that would also then lead on to the whole thing with the Gardaí, people thinking that the Gardaí could have been involved in it because like that it was weird that they were there. One of my thoughts was, can you guys hear that motorbike? Yeah, Jill, it is, and like it's that not knowing, obviously for a loved one to be, to die in a tragic circumstance or like that for them to be murdered is obviously a horrific thing enough. But for you to just never know what happened to them, never know where their body is, never know kind of their last moments and stuff like that would obviously be even more traumatic. Um, I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, so the Gardaí, the only thing I would think is like that. Could they have been pals with McDara? McDara, like I'll be honest, I lean into McDara being responsible. I think for him to have been responsible, he needed to have help though because he never had a car, he only had a bike, and he couldn't possibly have moved the body on a bike far. And if their own lands had been searched and nothing was there, well then it has to have been a bit further than their own land, and they had a decent sized land around them. The Gardaí could have been pals of his. They could have grown up with him, like so. I actually hadn't thought of this before, and it was only when I was watching the video again I realized. So Barbara was just 34, let's say, right? She was nearly 34, and she had a 17-year-old. So that means she was 17 when she had that child. So she was pregnant at 16, let's say. And McDara died in 2007, and he was 67. So he was born in 1940-ish. So that means there was 11 years between them. So when she was 16 and pregnant, he was 27. Now, again, at the time, things were different and there were kind of those age gaps. That also means that when Barbara went missing, McDara was 45. And if he had known the guards that they were the same age as him or, around the same age, he could have known them practically for like that 40 years if they were from the area. So, and we do know, let's admit it, like we all know stories of corrupt Gardaí decades ago, recently enough. So it is a possibility that one of them then maybe helped him. He went and got them and was like, I've messed up, something's happened. It was an accident, whatever. And again, it's not like I think he planned to murder his wife. Like some of you have said, I would think it was the argument from earlier continued, and things happened. Something, a push or something, happened, and it just went too far. It's not like I'm thinking he's a cold-blooded killer and that he planned this murder out for weeks or for months. I think whatever happened just happened to happen that night. I've said happen there a lot of times. Um, the whole went missing before thing. If she genuinely had gone missing before, I think I seen one of you guys say, well, like where when she came back, then where was she? So like that would have been somewhere to check again. But also then, if that was true, maybe she did say she was leaving. Maybe she was kind of like, you know what, I am fed up again. Like especially with the arguments and stuff. I'm fed up. And then that was, well, no, you're not going. You're not embarrassing me again. You're not, you're not shaming our family again. Because as I said, that was a thing. It would have been like a shock to the community and rumors going around and everybody whispering and stuff. Um, sorry now, reading, trying to read my own writing. So officially reported to the Gardaí, and again, it was to the Gardaí that were at the party, and it was a week late. So maybe they wouldn't even kind of question, like, what are you talking about? Why are you taking a week to come into us? Maybe it would have just been like, yeah, okay, let's just deal with it. And if they had been involved, that could have been even part of it. It was like, oh, you need to give it a bit of time to, give some delay tactics. The family in one of the primetime specials, Catherine and Jacqui, the daughters, would say how like that the dad, when they woke up, the dad had gone out straight away looking for her. Whereas in other things, it makes it sound like he had already gone out because obviously on the Saturday, that's what he does. He goes off to the local village and gets groceries. Whereas they say no, it was that he had gone out to see if she had gone to the village. She hadn't. And then it's nearly like straight away there was this big urgent thing, so he goes off to Minish to her mom's. No, she's not there. Goes off to her dad's. No, she's not there. And there was a sense of urgency or panic there. Then not report her for a week, Like I think it's just odd behaviour. 2020, I said that Jacqui had said that she wanted to speak to a man who had been at the party and, had been, she thinks was involved or knew something. And I said at the time that hadn't happened. And obviously because of COVID and all, maybe that's not, that had kind of hindered her plans. I cannot find anything more on that about her having done that. The TG Carr thing is from 2022, so she doesn't even mention it in that. One of the kind of odd things is, like, the family say, like, they think she was murdered, like they think she's dead, they think something was done to her. And for it's understandable that they wouldn't think, or they don't want to think that their dad done it, but there's never any kind of other explanation in the sense of it's just. And I'm not trying to be crappy towards, like, obviously a missing person's family, but just I feel like it's very much like, no, we know something bad happened to her, and that's it. There's no kind of speculation of what happened, except for her saying this man that she knows, she thinks knows something. But they never insinuate that it was someone in the family who done something. So I definitely don't think that they ever think it's the dad. Excuse me. I need to have a little drink. We're actually going for longer than I thought. I thought it was going to be a very quick one. So I'm just going to go on to some of the questions I was getting asked. And one of the main ones, and maybe in 2020 I didn't have a child, so maybe I was just being very oblivious to it. But the SIDS thing, loads of you comment about the SIDS thing. And I hadn't thought of it until the first person commented, and I was like, oh yeah, I suppose. Now I have seen some people actually reply to comments saying that it is actually more likely, if you're a twin, you can be more likely for it to happen. I think it can still probably be a bit odd for it to happen at the same time. So basically, on Christmas Eve in 1973, sorry, not 1947, she wasn't even alive then. 1973, the two twins die of SIDS. Now, SIDS obviously means sudden infant death syndrome, or cot death. It could have been that it was something else. I even seen someone say that if they were both in the same, cot or crib, one of them could have rolled onto the other one or something like that. And that could be what happened. And they might just put it down to, you will just say that it was SIDS then instead of it kind of going into something else. Like, I don't think it was something sinister. I don't know if people think it's odd and then think that there could be something more sinister because of that. I don't think that. I just think, like, I do think there is a chance in 70s rural Ireland, kind of. I think there could have been a chance. Like, again, I wouldn't have known any of this. There are things you're supposed to do to prevent SIDS and to prevent cot death. Like, there are things. So you're not supposed to smoke in your home. You're most certainly not supposed to, like, smoke and then go into the room that the baby is in. This type of thing. I remember, like, after having my baby, they were saying, like, if there is a smoker, like, if one of you are a smoker, like, let's say the dad is a smoker, people were saying nearly like that they should have a coat or something, an outdoor coat that they put on when they go outside to smoke, so that when they take that off, hopefully the rest of their clothes don't have it and they don't bring it into the home. The cot, like the mattress, like, if you have two kids, like, one after the other, you're not even supposed to share mattresses. You can use the same crib. You're supposed to get a brand new mattress. The mattress has to be flat. There's not supposed to be any lifters. There's to be nothing in the cot with them. No teddies, no pillows, no loose blankets or anything like that. There are all these things, which, I mean, I wasn't back in the 80s to be aware of it, but I don't know if it was as prominent. Maybe you guys might know, some of you, if that would have been, like, promoted then as well. But I just think that there could be more chance of that happening. Yes, it's odd, I think, for it to have both happen at the same time. But like if it was that there was something in the cot with them, it could have been something that then both that smothered both of them. If maybe they weren't even in an actual cot, maybe they were on a bed or something, and again, maybe a pillow fell onto their faces or something. It's horrible to think about. Sorry, but so I just think, yeah, I don't think there's anything sinister to it. Um, so some people talked about how women were treated essentially in. We all knew that in the 80s. So then, yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe some people just weren't as vigilant about it. I don't know. I don't want to say it in a mean way to anybody. Um, we all yeah. So we all know that women weren't like they're like women. Like if you got married and you worked in the public sector, you had to give up your job. When you got married, you took your husband's PPS number and they added a W at the end. Um, I actually worked. I think I've said it to you before. I worked in one of the vaccine centres during COVID, because I lost my job, and people would be giving you their PPS numbers, and so men and women would come in together, like, and they'd do the PPSs or whatever, and it would be like a W, and I'd be like, oh, that's so weird, and they'd be like, no, like that's you had to take your husband's PPS, or they'd both be coming up, and the women would know the man's PPS because it used to be hers, and it was very funny. But some people were kind of saying, "Oh, like no, it wouldn't have been like that." I saw someone say, "No, it wasn't like that. It was, and women weren't treated in the same way as men, in a lot of situations, let's say." But I was also thinking about the domestic violence stats, and I'm not saying we don't know that's what was going on, but like women are more like if a woman is murdered in Ireland, it's more likely to have been by someone she knows. Then the majority of that is by an intimate partner or an ex-partner. And then like that, if you were killed in your home, it is more likely to be by a partner or an ex-partner. So even the fact that like that last time she was seen was in her home, if you're like me, you believe that she died in her home, then it would be plausible to think that it could have been the husband. Um, I said about the Gardaí, so a lot of you were saying about that. Um, and then, so yeah, a lot of you, I think, kind of agree. I'm not saying everybody, but I think a good few of you think, yeah, it was the Gardaí, or the Gardaí, the husband. I just wanted to say as well, though, people were saying like women never leave kids, mothers will never leave their kids. And I know for the majority of the cases that's true. And I would like to think that I would never ever leave my child. But there are situations where women do leave their children, and I'm just saying it for us to know about it, but also because someone actually did comment when this video was only out a while. Someone actually did comment because in the video I say I don't think women would ever leave their children, and she says basically that their mother did leave them, and like obviously then they went through a lot of trauma and other issues then because like their mom left them, and it's always very much like, oh, but women would never leave their children, mothers would never leave their children, and it's kind of like, well, my mom left us. And in fairness, like I've come in, like met fellas or known fellas that have custody of their children, and whether for one reason or another, the mothers gave up the custody of their children. Again, obviously there can be some issues involved there, but and I say in the video about the case where the woman went off, and it was only when the abusive husband died that she then came back to be like, I'm just reaching out and letting you know that I am here, I'm alive. So yeah, obviously we know for the majority they don't, but I just want to say that there are the cases where mothers for whatever reasons will leave. Actually, I know a lot of you have said about the comment about the alcohol, and then even the fact that she had so many children. She was very young, like she had her first child when she was 17, and like by the time she was 33, 34, she had like 6 kids, 7 kids. It was a lot, like. Um and then like that again, if there is a recession, struggling for money, just a lot of things. If it was a case that was true, that she had gone off the last time, maybe she was struggling, but I still don't think, for Barbara's case, I don't think she left. I'm not saying that women never leave. I'm just saying, yeah, exactly, advanced watcher. So that was basically that the case that I talk about in the video. The woman, she basically knew, like she knew, like the husband was never abusive to the kids. He was only ever abusive to her. So she knew they were okay if she was to leave the situation. And it was like that. She knew she couldn't support him. She knew she couldn't do anything. So by removing herself, the children would still be okay, but she was able to keep herself safe. Um, yeah. So, oh, the glasses thing. Again, like, because the case so long ago, I forgot about the glasses. She wore glasses and she needed them. And that's at least 3 cases now that I've done of women who went missing who like needed their glasses. Like I have glasses, but I can pretty much see this. Like I can see the screen, I can see me and stuff. It's more so for like far away stuff. But all of these are very much like they're blind if they don't have their glasses on. And I would feel if I left the house without those glasses. So they would definitely never leave without glasses. So that's Barbara, Leedy, who I just done recently, and Imelda Keenan, who all left without their glasses. So it's just, I don't know, like they can't, like, you murder someone and then you can't even be bothered to hide the things that will catch you out. I kind of think that's it, really. I felt like there was another point that I was going to say and it went out of my head. Um, no, that was kind of really it, I think. So, unless people have questions, um, thank you for your little comments. Anyway, I wasn't expecting it to have like a live. I just said I'd do it as a live, and if anybody wanted to come on, and then I'll just put it up as a video. So, really, that's kind of it. I didn't get a video out this week. Looking back on that video, it made me feel like I used to love when, I think in the beginning, I just done the videos to like learn about the different cases. And if it took me whatever amount of time to do them, it did, because there are some cases that I done that like it could take weeks just to get time to do all the look at the research. If there was books on it, documentaries, loads of news articles and stuff. And then I would just kind of put them up. And then I feel like I got into the whole, oh, you have to be so consistent and you have to be posting every week, you have to be posting. And I was putting myself under pressure to do not like worse quality videos or anything like that, but like I'd be putting out like smaller videos and not focusing on other bigger ones that I might want to do, if that makes sense. Um, so I haven't had time to do one this week because, as you know, I work and I have a child, and I usually just it's hard to try find time. It's not even the research that's the interesting part, because I enjoy doing the research and I do that. I'll do that on my lunch break and stuff like that. It's literally finding the time to actually be able to record. So I feel like I need to start kind of focusing on trying to do the longer quality ones that I like, because they're the ones I like. But you can let me know if you prefer like the videos that are like 15 minutes, or do you prefer like an hour long video on a case? Because sometimes again you wonder, like, you're like, oh, are the hour long ones just too much because people can just watch it 15 minutes and then it's over? Whereas me personally, I kind of like the longer ones. I suppose it depends on what I'm in the mood to watch as well. But you can let me know what you think. No woman who needs specs would leave the house without them. Exactly, Jane. Hello, Jane. Um, no, exactly. And so, like, that was the same with Imelda. It was supposed to be that she had left to go to the post office without her glasses. And again, like, her family have said, like, she was blind, like she couldn't see without her glasses. A lot of photos, obviously, she doesn't have them on in the photos. But again, people take their glasses off. I would take my glasses off for a lot of photos if I'm out, or if I'm out on a night out and I don't have contacts in, I have glasses. I will take the glasses off for the photo. So, but her family have said that she needed her glasses. The same as Leedy, it is said. There's obviously not as much information on that, but it is said that she needed her glasses. And Barbara, it is said that she needed her glasses. So it's just weird. Thank you for the live. I enjoy your videos. Thank you, advanced watcher. Yeah, so I think that's enough rambling anyway from me. Um, if you like this, because I had thought about doing it for my older cases, even for myself to kind of look back at the cases, see if there is more updates, and then just kind of it's interesting kind of just to look back at me. I feel like in my first videos, I'm very reserved, like in that video, and even in I remember looking at my first video of the child's cell phone, and I'm like, "Hello, my name is Casey, and I am from Dublin, and I want to talk to you about true crime," or like that. But yeah, I think so. Yeah, Janet, I think again it is like I don't think it's a case of oh he planned to get to murder his wife to get rid of her. I think if there had been an argument in the pub and then they went back to the house, and then the argument continued, and then like that it just went too far. The two of them are drunk, and again it could have been again like as I say it could have been that rage took over and strangled her or something like that, or it could have been as simple as a push, a punch, or something that was just too hard, you know. But yeah, I think so. So anyway, yeah, sorry, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you everybody who's watching, and thank you for the likes. Thank you for all the support. Yeah, I can't believe that video has started to blow up. Hopefully YouTube will start doing that, pushing more videos out as well. But we're like I'm very happy with like we're over 5,500 subscribers, so it's great. And yeah, I like seeing all the names. I like seeing the names and like recognizing names and stuff come back, and I'm like, oh, she commented it. Well, I'm assuming she or he or whatever. I'm just putting genders to you. But yeah, when you see the same ones coming up and all, you're like, oh yeah, and it's nice to see what you think about different cases. But yeah, okay, so we're gonna go because that was definitely longer than I thought. So thank you to everyone. Thank you. Enjoy your videos. Any format. Thank you, Jane. Yeah, so maybe I'll try do. I've said I'm going about 3 times. Maybe I'll try do like one long one a month anyway because I like doing those ones, and then I'll try do more a couple of small regular ones as well. Maybe we'll do something like that. As I'd say in countdown, one big one and a few from the no, a few littles and one from the top. Um, yeah, okay, gonna actually say goodbye this time. So I hope you all have a nice night. I do hope to record over the weekend and have a video Monday. So I'll have that up for you then. So in the meantime, anyway, have a nice weekend and stay safe. See you. Thanks. Bye.